Hello residents of LumberJillville. Welcome to an episode of my science class. Today, I will be explaining the different types of mists used by Japanese pro wrestlers and their significance. This is my assistant for today, Mayor.
Hi. Secretary Sta.çé, when you say mist, you mean like Sierra mist, right?
No. This mist is poisonous.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're not doing a taste test today? That's not what this setup's about? We can't taste these?
No, of course not. That would be extremely dangerous.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm going to explain how the poison mist varies, in not only color but abilities as well. Let's get started. First, let's cover the commonly used green mist. Much like the kind Asuka uses against her opponents, this is used to obstruct the opponent's vision.
Obstructions.
The blue mist is oftentimes used to entice drowsiness and make the receiving victim fall asleep. Next up is the purple mist. This mist, when used, causes momentary distraction and memory loss. Oh my, Mayor, where did the purple mist go?
I was thinking of bars. Whoa. Hey, where am I?
Did you drink the purple mist?
Well, see, I would answer that, but here's the thing, Miss General. You can't handle the truth. No one can handle the truth. You'll never catch me alive. Yep. Oh, real quick. Who exactly am I again?
Oh dear.
Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews like today's highly anticipated review of WWE Ultimate Edition Series 20, Asuka. Now I say highly anticipated because just images alone, this looks like what could be the single greatest women's wrestling figure of all time, best I've ever reviewed, best I've ever seen, but that's just from images, and something I've learned on this channel is you really don't know until you take a closer look at the figure and look at it. And I've reviewed every single women's wrestling figure since 2020, and even gone back and reviewed old ones, so if this is the best I've ever reviewed, that's a pretty big deal for me and for LumberJillville, so I'm really excited. Either way, this figure looks awesome. So let's get started, and let's start off by taking a closer look, starting with the packaging. Alright, so starting off the packaging, this is an Ultimate Edition figure, so we have that very unique Ultimate Edition packaging, which I love. I love how it's that boxy shape, but also we have this large open window in the front, and I miss that in Elites. I wish they'd bring it back. I hope they do. But either way, it looks really, really good here in the Ultimate Edition figures, because not only do we get a good image of the whole figure, but we see everything this comes with, and this figure comes with some really, really cool accessories and features, and oh my goodness, I cannot wait to open this up. It's what this channel is all about, right? Like, this figure is everything this channel is about, and I can't wait to open it up. My goodness. But looking at the packaging here, you know, they stay pretty uniform, all the Ultimate Edition series. They look good on a shelf next to each other. I did get two of these, but I think I'm going to open both up because this figure looks so awesome, and I love the alternate head. So we have Asuka's name at the top there, Ultimate Edition at the bottom. On the side, we have an image of Asuka. On the other side, we have her name. And then on the back of the package, what I love about Ultimate Edition figures is the top left of the backs of Ultimate Edition figures on the packaging, we have fig photography. And I always love when they do that. I love when they pose the figure in a really cool way with good lighting. And it's just really good figure photography. So I hope I can top that image for my thumbnail. We will find out. And then on the bottom right, we have an image of that attire. Obviously, it's from that Royal Rumble. On the left here, we have her stats, some of her accolades there. Really cool. And then we have this little blurb at the bottom here. It says the Empress of Tomorrow tapped into an inner darkness upon making her return at Royal Rumble 2023. Any humanity left in Asuka was replaced by a sadistic superstar with a sinister smile, ready to spray blinding blue mist in the face of unsuspecting opponents. I've learned a lot about mist according to that intro, so I'm happy to say that I got it all out of my system. Now, we are going to open this up because Ultimate Edition packaging is pretty easy to open up. So we're going to cut this piece of tape on the side. As I say, it's easy, and then I cut my hand. I'm almost shaking in excitement because this looks so cool. So we cut 1, 2, and then a 3 pieces here, and it should open up like a book. There it is, and everything slides out. So I'm going to get everything out. I'm going to give a little turntable summary talking about what the attire's from, and then we're going to break this figure down piece by piece, part by part. I can't wait. WWE Ultimate Edition Series 20 Asuka. This attire is from the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble, which took place on January 28th from the Aladome in San Antonio, Texas. Asuka would make her surprising return, being the 17th entrant in the Rumble and remain one of the final 3 women left before being eliminated by Rhea Ripley, who ultimately won that Rumble. Alright, so my first impressions of this figure, I am blown away, almost at a loss of words. You know, that's what we're all about here in LumberJillville, is showing love, raising awareness, and the respect for women's wrestling figures in the collecting community. And this figure is doing that all by itself. There's a lot of people that have already posted images of it and reviews of it. And usually I'm the first to review women's wrestling figures, and some people beat me to the punch, but that just shows how awesome this figure is. So I'm really proud of this figure for doing that. But yeah, I'm just really happy to have it in front of me, and to be completely honest with y'all, this just might be the best women's wrestling figure of all time. It might be the best I've ever reviewed on the channel, and we'll find out. We'll break this figure down piece by piece, part by part, and really take a closer look at it. But I just want to give my first thoughts because this is what it's all about, y'all. This is what we're all about here in LumberJillville, and this figure rules. It looks amazing. But we are going to start off by taking a closer look at the accessories that she comes with. So she comes packaged with semi-grasping hands with painted nails we'll look at later, but she also comes with extra hands here and her signature pose that you can interchange out, which is very, very cool. She also comes with an extra head, which we will cover when I cover the face sculpt, face scan, and hair sculpt in the next segment. And then she comes with this really cool mask. Now, this mask has a lot of intricate detail, not just in the paint application itself, but also there's so much sculpting going on here that they really went the whole 9 yards on making this thing as accurate as possible, and it looks great. We also have pink hair on the left, bluish purple on the right. Colorblind Aaron, let me know in the comments if that's blue or purple. I'll just say bluish purple to be safe. But yeah, this mask looks awesome. It is hollow on the inside here. I'm not sure if it does fit on her face. It does. It goes right on her face. We'll cover that here in the next segment. You know what? No. We'll show you now. It fits right on her face. It goes right on. That is a perfect fit. But I'll probably have her holding it because look how amazing that face looks on this figure. Now, the main event as far as accessories go, we have this entrance robe finally. And I say finally because there was an unreleased robe previously. You know, there are images shown of a Asuka Elite that was supposed to come with a robe very similar to this. We never got the robe. We did get the Asuka Elite that was shown in the image in the Network Spotlight Elite, which is one of the most underrated Elites of all time. It is a great Asuka Elite, that Network Spotlight one, but we didn't get the robe. So it's been long overdue to get this robe, and the detail here is unbelievable. Now, obviously, what's nice about it is a cloth. It's a silky type material here. We even have a little pink lining stitched on the inside here. We have this fur that is also stitched on there that goes over the shoulders, goes up on the shoulder there, and kind of around the collar, which looks really cool. And it's a really quality fur. I mean, it looks awesome. And what really stands out, besides the obvious, is, I mean, look at all the deco that went into this robe, y'all. Like, there we go. Look at all the deco that went into this thing. This robe is beautiful. It is immaculate. I don't think they could have done a better job, in my opinion. It's awesome. It is super, super awesome. And the way it fits on her, well, because it's so big and baggy, like the one she wore, it goes on very, very easily. You just slide her arms down the sleeve holes as you do when you put on clothes. And there we go. And I'll probably keep it on her like half off. You know what I mean? That looks cool, like kind of down on her shoulders. But yeah. So as far as accessories go, 10 out of 10. Now we're going to take a closer look at the figure. And let's start off looking at that face sculpt, face scan, and hair sculpt. Alright, so as far as the face scan, face sculpt, and hair sculpt goes, you almost have to see this figure in hand to appreciate all the intricate details that went into this figure. I mean, it is unreal, mind-boggling, looks awesome. The sculpt looks great. Now, obviously, it's hard to tell the likeness with the face paint on top, but that's what makes this figure awesome, is the face paint on top. We've never gotten an Asuka like this. And honestly, her last couple Elites had really good face sculpts, that Elite Series 87, and also that Network Spotlight Elite had really good face sculpt. So here, I'm sure the sculpt is just fine under the paint. And let's talk about that paint. That Kana Asuka face paint. It is applied with such detail. It's really hard to get on camera. There we go. But it looks amazing. Now, truthfully, I tried to paint my face like hers once on like a live stream on the channel, and I did a bad job. So for them to do it in figure form so small, so intricate, and so clean, and look so accurate is pretty amazing. We have a white base color, obviously, and then we have like a sparkly blue type designs with black trim going around the cheeks and the mouth, and we have little streaks of black around the eyes on both sides, and then her right eye has some coloration above it. We also have an earring in her right ear, and her left ear's covered up. I'm sure it has an earring back there. And this hair sculpt is also really cool, really unique, and it looks great. Taking a look around here, not only is it just half blue, half purplish pink, but it fades into it. And the way that it fades looks really realistic, really, really cool, and I'm glad they did that. You know, in past Asuka figures, they just do kind of a 50-50 split with the color, and here it actually looks natural, and they did a real good job there. Now, she does come with an alternate head, which we are going to throw up on the screen here. And what's cool about this alternate head is it has the blue mist on the teeth coming out of the mouth. Like, she just sprayed it out of her mouth. And that is an all-time face scan and sculpt. It looks amazing. Now, here you can tell that sculpt underneath the face paint looks just like her. And, you know, on the other one, it's a little hard to tell, but here you can tell that this sculpt is amazing. It looks just like Asuka from all angles. In this face paint on here, you know, even though it's the same, we have a little bit of a difference here, having that blue mist on the teeth and the chin, like she just sprayed it out of her mouth. Unbelievable. I honestly don't know which face I'm going to display this Asuka, and that's why I got two, so that I don't have to make that tough decision. I can just display them both. But yeah, as far as the face and the hair goes, I mean, 10 out of 10, just like the accessories. Now let's take a closer look at the body sculpt and the attire. And we will do an articulation segment where I talk about the butterfly joints, but that is such a huge deal. We've never gotten an Ultimate Edition women's figure with butterfly joints. You know, we got that Supreme Baker that had butterfly joints, but obviously that was Jazzwares and AEW. So as far as WWE women's figures, I mean, this is a first. This is the first women's figure to have the butterfly joints, and oh, I'm so excited. We'll go over articulation, and we'll talk about those joints a little more. But right now we're going to talk about the body sculpt and the attire, and there is so much going on here, and not only the attire and the detail, but the sculpting. It looks great. Now, the body sculpt itself does an amazing job of replicating Asuka's build. It looks just like Asuka. It looks unreal. The arms, the midsection, everything about it looks great. They did a great job with part choices. And looking at the attire, you know, we're going to break this down top and bottom like we used to in the old days of LumberJillville. So, looking at the top, we have the sculpted top with straps that are sculpted, and even the little lacing is sculpted on there. So there's a lot of intricate sculpting that you really can't tell looking at it from a distance, but up close, a lot of sculpting going on. Intricate silver paint to simulate the buckles there. The top has some ridges sculpted on there, and obviously we see that beautiful gold, metallic gold color with red and blue on the dot patterns, which are also sculpted. Moving the top around here, oh, that's really cool. We have the laces sculpted on, more sculpting. I'm going to quit saying sculpting so much, but I can't help it. There's so much sculpting in this figure, and I love it. Now, looking at the arms, what's really cool is down her right arm, we have these little straps. And they could have just painted them on the arm, right, and called it a day. But these are actually little rubber straps that fit around her arm perfectly that have an adjoining long one going down there vertically, and it fits on her perfect. It looks awesome. We'll talk about an articulation to see if it inhibits her elbow flexion, but I mean that looks great. We even have like a bronzish gold, that's hard to say, gold color intertwined with the black. We have her gloves painted on, and we do have sculpting on those gloves. I didn't realize. I don't know if the other hands have sculpting on the gloves. I think it's just painted on a hand sculpt. Yeah, I guess there's a little bit, but not as much as these hands. These hands, they really went all out with the gloves. It's going to be hard to see the detail, but there's detail on those gloves, which is awesome. Her nails are even painted, which is really, really cool. Nice little detail. She comes with this little waist sash here, which is a sculpted piece, obviously. And what's really, really awesome, y'all, is, look at this. So this tassel, or this little cloth that's supposed to hang down, it's plastic, but it moves. It moves. So you can dynamically pose this Asuka and have this cloth dangle down. It's much like the arm tassels on recent Ultimate Warrior figures, and so I guess you can kind of compare it to that, where it does move, so you can dynamically display her, and that's really, really cool. Now, moving on down to her bottoms, we have the signature look on the backside there with a gold and silver type appearance. We also, moving on down to her legs, we have sculpting on the legs, which simulates pants, which is nice. It could have just put bare Ultimate Edition legs, but they did make it look like she was wearing tights. And the tights have sculpting on the upper portion here with the gold intertwining laces. And then we have blue and red painted around there. Going down the legs, we have this gold pattern going down. Her knee pads are this bronze gold type color with black. Inner stitching painted on the front, and then going down to her kick pads and her boots. Oh wow, these are beautiful. Look at that design, y'all, on the front. The silver and gold zebra type design. Oh my gosh. Going all the way down to the front of her foot. We even get little straps to simulate the kick pads being on over top the boots. And we have stitching painted on the side there. That's red on the left side and blue on the right. And yeah, as far as the body sculpt and the attire goes, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. She also has, I don't think I covered this, she also has this little choker necklace. And let's see. Yeah, it looks to be a little choker necklace that you can remove if you take the head off. But y'all, just like the head, the face, the hair, just like the accessories, 10 out of 10. I mean, that was the hardest body sculpt and attire portion I've ever done, because there's so much and I'm trying to fit it in a video, but y'all just need to get this figure in hand and look at all the attention to detail and the beauty that went into this figure. Unreal. All right, let's do an articulation segment. I just talked about those butterfly joints. We're going to go right to that after we look at the head here. So the head doesn't move a whole lot. You know, we usually don't get a whole lot of head movement in the women's wrestling figures, and that's fine. But the shoulders on a ball joint can move in all different directions, but here's what we got, these butterfly joints. So what are butterfly joints, Mayor Aaron? Well, what they do is they allow adduction. So adduction is bringing the arm toward the central portion of the body. She can really reach across here. Now, it is inhibited a little bit because that butterfly joint is a little smaller. I believe the AEW women's figure is a little bit of more of an opening, so you can really cross the arms, but still that allows for extra motion. And what's also awesome is you can also go back a lot further than you normally can on a women's wrestling figure, as you can see. So that's what those butterfly joints do. They allow a lot more forward adduction, which is this motion. This is a kinesiology lesson as well, I guess. And then abduction going back. So you can really, really, really get some maximum posability here. And I hope they continue to do that with the women's ultimates, because having that butterfly joint is awesome. And it doesn't even look out of place. I was afraid it might look silly, but it actually looks good. Doesn't look too crazy. Really awesome. We have double jointed elbows here. The wrist can extend and flex, can also rotate. We have the upper torso swivel. Really good rotation there. We have a little swivel at the waist. Hips are on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. Top of the boot swivel, and then the feet are Ultimate Edition feet, so they can rock side to side. They can also go down, plantar flex, dorsiflex. Then we got that useless toe joint You know, someone's got to let me know in the comments if you like that toe joint, because I do not. But it is nice and tight on this figure. A lot of times, like with the Bianca, the Charlotte, it's like drop foot. They get drop foot where the toes just look sad and just hang there because the joint is so loose. But this joint's nice and tight, so I don't mind it as much on this figure. And let's take a look at that right arm with all those straps to see if it inhibits the motion. No, it doesn't appear to. It flexes even more. Watch her arm just pop off mid-review. Okay, I'm not going to flex it anymore. Yeah, these armbands do not inhibit her motion, which is freaking awesome. But yeah, hey, butterfly joints for life. Love them. All right, now this part of the video, I do a little side-by-side comparison to show you some of the best Asuka figures. Now, she's never had a basic figure, so that's really important to note. And some of her early elites aren't the best. I have them with me, but I'm going to save those for when I do a figure history of Asuka. But on the far left here, we have that Network Spotlight Asuka. It looks great. It actually is a really good sculpt and scan. I love it. Really unique figure. Also comes with a mask. Then we have Elite Series 87. Another really cool, really unique Asuka. We got the green mist coming down off the face. And then we have today's figure. But I'm going to be honest with you. These are amazing figures. This Elite 87 I thought was an underdog for Figure of the Year that year. But nothing compares to this Ultimate. Nothing compares to the Ultimate with all the detail and all the accessories. And oh my gosh. It makes these figures look like basics. And these are some of the best Elites that Mattel has offered. I don't even know why I'm doing a comparison. Let's just put this figure front and center. This figure is unbelievable. I don't even know what else to say about it because there's just so much that went into this figure. So much. And I freaking love it. All right, so real quick, something I noticed here is there's no opening on the ends of the sleeves, so you can't like slide them up and put her arms through, but that's okay. You can kind of just put it over her arms or put her arms down the sleeves because, I mean, that's how she wears it anyway. But that kind of causes a little bit of a problem if you're trying to have the robe on and have her holding the mask. So I'm going to maneuver it a little bit and see what I can do for the thumbnail image, so make sure you check that out. But I really want to get her with this jacket on and also holding that mask next to her face. So wish me luck, but I just wanted to show y'all that I did not cover it earlier, and that's that there's no openings at the end of the sleeves. Alright, y'all. So overall, I give WWE Ultimate Edition Series 20 Asuka the first ever diamond 10 out of 10. Now, what's a diamond 10 out of 10? That will be given to the best women's wrestling figure I review. So in the future, if one comes out that's better than this one, that then will get the diamond award. But as we stand right now at the time of this review, this Asuka is simply the best women's wrestling figure I have ever reviewed in LumberJillville. And I've reviewed a lot, and I mean a lot, of women's wrestling figures. And I can't say enough good about it. Now, that's one thing about this review, is usually I feel strong about my reviews at the end. I feel like I was very detailed, and I tried to give y'all an up-close look at every little part of the figure. But for this figure, I could literally make an hour-long video covering every single little thing and talking about every single little thing. So I tried to do the best I can, but just keep that in mind that this figure is so good, you just need to have it in hand. You need to have it in hand to really appreciate all the detail and all the care that went into this figure, because simply, this is the best wrestling figure of all time. I'm not even going to say women's wrestling figure. This is the best wrestling figure of all time, and I can't say enough good about it. You need to go over to ringsidecollectibles.com, use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10%, and make sure you pick it up. It's on back order at the time of this video until maybe February or so, but the wait is definitely worth it. This figure is phenomenal and the best I've ever reviewed. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Also, head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Now, there has been a lot of brand new women's wrestling figure reviews here in LumberJillville, and I'm happy to say that we still have 2 more to go. So look for those: Basic Series 144 BFAB and Basic Series 145 Tiffany Stratton. Stay tuned, those will be posted very soon. Thanks for watching, and have a great night, y'all.